WolfGxngDon, never lacking. 2K bills to the fraction, breaking it down to the pound, puts news and views on tips to get you cracking. It don't stop till we on top, boy, brick by brick, we gotta build. Give a like and drop a sub, this WolfGxngDon, you know it's real. Never chill, sauce it up, we stacking, getting bills. Peep the traction, getting badges, 2K champ, this how it feels. This the dawn, yeah, running it up, no time to play. You know what's on, yeah, the greatest builds inside 2K.
What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Don back here with another build video, man. Today I got y'all with one of the best stretch forward type builds. It will be at the power forward position. Now for the body settings, we got 6'11", 227 pounds, 7'6" wingspan with a solid body type. Let's get right into this build. Not a lot of reason to delay. We're gonna take this driving dunk all the way up to a 93. Standing dunk, bump that up to a 70, and then for the driving layup, we're gonna take that up to an 85, just because we wanna make sure we can get a lot of these finishing badges. The dope thing about this build is if you check tier 2, we got posterizer, aerial wizard in there. This one also gets limitless takeoff in tier 1. I feel like that's one of the reasons why this build is so OP. And then we got slithery finisher as well in tier 1. We're gonna leave the close shot right where it is, but you know, for the driving layup and the standing dunk, that is what it is. We got 16 finishing badges already. Now for the 3-point shot, we do want to be able to knock these down at a very high clip. We're gonna take this up to an 83. And then for the mid-range shot, we're gonna take this up to a 77. And you see we get 20 shooting badges, but if you want to look at some of the nice things about this, we got 20, so you know we're gonna be able to mess around in tier 3. We got catch and shoot in tier 3, claymore if you want to use that, blinders, of course we got agent 3s in tier 1, which I think on a power forward is crazy, and then amped on in tier 1 as well. For the free throw, because I am making this build to be able to play in the rec at the forward position, we got 73 with free throw. I would not suggest going less than a 70. Now moving on to playmaking, we're gonna start out with the pass accuracy. We do want to take that up to an 80 just to make sure we can get some kind of quick type passes on this build, so when you get the ball, you don't have to, you know, make a decision whether or not you're going to shoot it. You actually have more abilities than just that. For the ball handler, we're going to take that up to a 70, and with the speed with ball, we're going to take that up to a 60. We're not really too worried about the speed with ball on this build, but moving on to the defense, something that I think makes this build special is the fact that it does have an 80 when it comes to interior defense, and then perimeter defense, just so we have a little bit of lateral quickness. You don't want to be out there getting sauced up by any of the other builds that have just a little bit of quickness. So we're going to take the perimeter D up to a 70. The steal, we're going to take that up to a 70 as well. And then of course, this build has to be able to defend the paint at least a little bit against some of those rim runners. So we're going to take the block up to a 93. And we're going to take the defensive rebound up to an 85 so we can get that silver rebound chaser, and then just bump up that offensive rebound up 1. Honestly, when you go to adjust some other attributes, it'll be adjusted by itself. So with the speed, we're going to take this up to a 71. The acceleration, we're going to max it out at a 70. The strength, we're going to take this up to an 83. And then we're going to take the vertical up to an 82 because we want to make sure we can get all of those contact dunks. Now, last but not least, we're going to upgrade the stamina. We're going to max it out at a 98. The final badge count on this build comes up to 16, 20, 14, and 22. Go ahead and look at some of these takeovers. We do have slashing take, shooting take, playmaking, rim protecting, and you can choose any of those, but I would highly suggest using limitless range in order to pretty much stretch the floor a little bit better and stuff blocks. Slashing take is also a viable one. I will go with finishing moves just so you can get those nastier posterizing dunks on this build. But let's go ahead and continue so we can show you the shades of, and like I said, this is one of the best stretch 4 type builds. Comes out as shades of Kyle Kuzma, John Collins, and Evan Mobley, one of the best young players. And I think the Cavs gonna be a tough team to watch this year, like for real. They got some pretty good young talent, and they picked up Donovan Mitchell. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, it comes out as an inside-out scorer, but I think this is just honestly a straight-up stretch 4. You can pretty much do everything on this build except dribble at a high level, but as a 4, I really don't see a lot of reason to do that, especially on a team of 5. But yeah, let's go ahead and test the build so I can show you some of the best badges that I would put on this build to make it play at its height, man. Starting off with the finishing badges, we got posterizer cord in tier 2. I think that's one of the things that makes this build so much better than a lot of other builds, because we don't need any of these tier 3 badges unless you want them, but most of them are on bronze. Actually, all of them are on bronze except bully, and I don't really find that badge very useful to me personally. And then we got aerial wizard on gold. I do feel like this badge is worth the badge points, especially if it's not in tier 3. Since it's only in tier 2, definitely worth it. Fearless finisher, got that on bronze. Slithery, gold, pro touch, silver, and limitless takeoff in tier 1, bro. How many builds do y'all have that got limitless takeoff in tier 1? I feel like that makes this badge so much more worth it. Like when you actually look at it, the fact that you can get limitless takeoff, one of the best finishing badges in the game that isn't posterizer. Now, time for shooting. We got catch and shoot cord in tier 3. I feel like that's one of the easiest badges to core. But the thing about it is, it does take a lot of grinding in order to get this badge cord. Like I'm telling you, you got to go through a lot. And when I say this, I mean a lot of career games activating this badge to get this on cord on gold. Now we got Deadeye on silver. Normally I would always choose blinders over Deadeye, but in this build in particular, we got blinders in tier 2, so you can actually have both. So we got blinders. You can change out this Deadeye for Claymore if you feel like Claymore would be more beneficial to you, and you can actually get it on gold and still have a point left. And we got green machine on gold, volume shooter on gold, and then agent 3s, one of my favorite badges. And this build can dribble a little bit, so I definitely feel like agent 3s would be worth the little bit of badge points it takes. Now for playmaking, we only got a few badges. We got bailout on silver, break starter, because this build can rebound a little bit, and if you rebound it, you might as well use the badge. I'm actually gonna core this. Break starter would be super easy to get cored, and we actually got a little bit extra. So we put vice grips on silver. Then we got quick first step on bronze, handles for days on bronze, floor general, and clamp breaker. All some solid badges to have on a build just like this. And last but not least, let's talk about this defense, man. Anchor cord in tier 3, one of the easiest badges to get cord. Now, if you want to get brick wall, I mean, that's up to you. I don't feel like it's needed when you have those high strength builds, but brick wall is a useful badge. And I mean, y'all been playing 2K for a little bit. I'm assuming brick wall is definitely one of those badges that you could find a lot of use for on the offensive end. And then rebound chaser on silver. Then we got chase down, and I'm gonna let you know right now, a lot of people have been saying chase downs need to be buffed. I feel like chase downs work fine. You just gotta be strategic about the ones you go for and put yourself in a position to get them a lot. Like you gotta jump when they jump. Try to time your block with how they're trying to time their shot or dunk. Then we got box out beast on gold, off ball pest on Hall of Fame. I feel like this is very much needed on a 4 build. You could take some of these out of off ball pest and put them in challenger if you feel like you need that badge. We got glove on bronze and interceptor on bronze. Interceptions are super easy to get this year. You just have to be in the passing lane. And just a tip for when you're trying to get interceptions, I would highly suggest, and when I say highly, I mean highly, suggest running towards where the ball is coming from in order to get that interception. It'll increase the amount of times that you'll be intercepting the ball, especially if you're already in the passing lane. Just start moving the stick towards where you want to intercept the ball at, and then go ahead and press square. And then glove, this build honestly probably wouldn't get a lot of steals, but on power forwards where they don't have unpluckable, I feel like you'll be able to do that at a pretty decent level. And this build is pretty good to play the park center. It's not like, you know, super undersized to be a park center. This build is 6'11", but that's pretty much it for me, man. I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Before y'all slide on out of here, just do me a favor, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you know, turn them notifications on so you don't miss any of my builds coming in the future. I will be dropping bangers for all of 2K23. But yeah, I'll catch y'all boys in the next one. It's your boy Don, and I'm up out of here. Peace.
Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Down the bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby, down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Guess that's why the